Simon from WhatCulture here, bringing you the second episode in what we'll call the Pro Wrestling Journey vlog. So, as you find me right now, we're 3 sessions in. And I can say without a shadow of a doubt, it is one of the hardest things I've ever done. I think a lot of people maybe assume that pro wrestling is hard. And you should assume pro wrestling is hard. Like anything in life that requires dedication and effort should be hard. It should be challenging because on the other end, you get the ultimate reward for it, even if that's an internal thing as opposed to, going on to be a superstar or, like a true famous professional wrestler. But something I wanted to focus on today is because I already know from a lot of you guys who are sending me tweets and stuff like that, which I really do appreciate. I want to go on record as saying that, like, anything anyone says me saying good luck and stuff is amazing. But the thing I really wanted to focus on was just how hard I'm finding it at the moment. But it's weird, like, because people say, oh, it's so hard, and that sounds like a negative. And this isn't a negative. Like, the words I keep using constantly when people talk to me, I say it's hard, it's challenging, it's really tough, but ultimately it's rewarding. When you get in after doing it and after learning all this stuff, and it's important to go on note that I think and I'm sure this is the case with thousands of training schools, both here in the UK and across the world, but I can't speak about those because I haven't been there. But what I can speak about is obviously Al Snow's Wrestling Academy, which if you haven't seen the first episode, is where I'm training. And it's just the way they treat you and the respect and the knowledge they have and the way they then, give you that knowledge and teach you. To me, with my very limited knowledge, I know nothing. I'm greener than grass, as they say. But it is, to me, fantastic, like amazing. It's the reason that I wouldn't say I'm confident with it at the moment, but I'm getting more confident with it. I feel motivated and enthusiastic about it anyway because I'm enjoying the process so much. But I can't stress enough, and you probably think I'm overdoing it a bit, but I'm really not. I can't stress enough how good I think Al Snow's Wrestling Academy is. From Al Snow to Simon Vanderwolf to John Klinger. Last night at the session, we had the Red Eagle there, and he just, he's a Portuguese luchador, if you don't know. And the stuff he took us through was just, it was engaging, and he took time out to make sure that he explained things to you. If you got something wrong, he wanted to, correct those mistakes so that you were learning. And and like I did, when you leave there, you go away feeling like I'm not better than I was, but I have more knowledge in my head. Like I've become that guy. And you hear this, and it's such a stupid thing for me to say because I'm 3 sessions in. But honestly, if I'm driving somewhere and I'm a train, I'm thinking about the moves that I've learned, and I'm like, right, what's the steps? How do I put all this together? And that to me is, that's a subconscious thing. I'm not actively thinking, how do I apply a headlock? It's just in my head. And I really do think a lot of that is the school. I don't think I mentioned last week, you can obviously just type in Al Snow's Wrestling Academy, Facebook, Twitter, all that stuff. And I'll talk about it on my Twitter as well at SimonMiller316 if you want to find it. Because I think it's a great place to go if you want to start. The way they treat you, like I say, the way they respect you and the way they want to give you what they know, it gives you that confidence, it gives you that motivation to go back. It's not like, you're worried about it because you think you're going to be yelled at or anything like that. Like, it's a positive experience. What I do want to talk about is the warm-up. Because you would presume, and I did as well, like I said before, I love going to the gym and I love lifting weights, but cardio, it was never really my thing. Like running on a treadmill to nowhere, what's the point? You may as well just smash your head into a wall for a while. But it's important. And when I decided I was going to do this, beginning of the year, or roundabouts then, I thought you're going to have to up your cardio. That's the number one thing you're going to have to do. Because I did cardio, but it didn't take very seriously. So I did start doing cardio. I started doing a HIIT routine, which is high intensive training. I started doing something called complexes. We won't get into that. That's all out there if you want to go read about it. My point being is that nothing could have prepared me for even the warm-up, which we'll focus on now, which you wouldn't think, the word warm-up makes you go, it'll be fine. But it's an incredible thing as well, because not only does it build your cardio, and not only does it challenge and test you in ways that you wouldn't think you would be, you then start to learn. It's not just a warm-up because, you need to warm up, obviously, otherwise you're injure yourself. But it's not just a warm-up for the sake of doing a warm-up. The stuff you're doing is teaching you how to be better once you get into the ring. Everything you're doing can be linked to something else down the line. And when you first do it, you probably have no idea about that. And there's no connection. But when it all starts to come together, even the warm-up starts becoming, an incredibly important part in all of it. Because you think, I know why I'm doing this now. And I know how I can then, translate that to things down the line. First time you go, if and if this inspires anyone to go out and try pro wrestling, then I find that incredible. I guess my point being is just get through it as best as you can, because it is tough and it's meant to be tough, but it does that for many reasons. So straight away, the challenge that you're in for. But secondly, it teaches you about the respect that you need to have. And I think the word respect is something we've all heard. If you're into pro wrestling, the word respect gets thrown around a lot. And I can understand why. You need to respect the effort it takes. You need to respect the condition that these people are in. You need to respect the skill it takes. You need to respect all the people that have paved the way. That's the common phrase. And it's really, I think fans can get it to a certain degree. And I don't want to be that guy, I've started training now. I don't mean it like that. But when you do start training, because my point being is now, if I see two guys lock up, put them in a headlock and do a takeover, I'll never criticise that again. Because something that was so, I guess, mundane to me before, because they make it look so effortless, I now realise the skill and the talent that goes into it, how much is actually going on. I've got to respect that. I've got to respect it because I know how hard it is. Even after session 3, the warm-up was it's so incredibly hard, but when you're done, I had a big smile on my face and I was ready. Completely ready for the rest of my session. Like I say, we're slowly learning the basic holds, the basic maneuvers, headlocks, arm drags, arm locks. Obviously learning how to bump, which is still something I'm trying to get to grips with. Sometimes I do a good one and I can tell it's good, but more often than not I do a bad one, and you can tell that much more than when you do the good ones, but it's all good. And this is the one thing that I keep coming away from, is that it's all incredibly rewarding, and I'm incredibly excited to just learn more and take more in, and hopefully better myself, and hopefully come out the other side respecting it more, understanding it more, and who knows, maybe even being a professional wrestler. So there we go. There's check-in number 2. We're gonna have loads to talk about next week. I'm just gonna leave you that little tease because some cool things are gonna happen. Once again, just my experience, go check out Al Snow's Wrestling Academy, Twitter, Facebook, see if it's for you. I can tell you from first-hand experience that it's great. If you've got any questions for me, you can get me at SimonMiller316. Make sure you like the video, make sure you talk about it in the comments, anything you've got to say, or anything like that, and we'll keep going on this journey. I will also point out, because I think it's only fair that you know, that I do hurt a lot, and I ache, and that's not really a feeling that you associate with, it's not a positive, you wouldn't think it was positive, but it makes me feel like I'm learning, and it makes me feel like I'm being taught the right way. But there we go, that's episode number 2. Thanks again for all your well wishes, and we're back in a week.